Birmingham City 0, Huddersfield Town 3. Hello and welcome to the Town Socials reaction, raw reaction to Town actually winning the game away at Birmingham City this evening. I'm Greg Marah, joining me again from down under at 5 o'clock in the morning, Ian Kilroy, and making their debuts, it's a nonsense reunited, Thomas Firbank and Marah Gabrielli. The way to start this is to give it to Mr. Ian Kilroy. He's an experienced podcaster now.
To be honest, I don't think it really matters what we make of the game. I think the 3 points are the main thing. If we went there today and put in one of the worst performances I've ever seen and took home 3 points, I'd have been dancing. And I'm dancing anyway, because we've not only come home with 3 points, but a performance that's probably as good as we've seen in regards to professionalism away from home this season. It was fantastic. Everything we asked for after such a terrible performance on Sunday was there, and I can hardly speak. We've not only won, we scored 3 goals. We've missed a penalty, so we should have bagged another. And we had another 2-3 chances, some from open play. It's just I don't think it's the Town we know. That's not the team we know. But it is what the Cowleys do. They pull out wins unexpectedly, and wow, just there we go. We're fighting. We're back.
I'm going to say, it came up on the game on Sunday. The Town goals from corners. I know another 2 goals we scored were from free kicks, but to have 3 goals from corners all season, especially when Nicky Cowley's supposedly a set piece professional, to put it that way. It was great to see us actually challenge, despite our obviously lack of height, but also to have a nice number 9 back in the team.
We were talking about this last week, Greg. We were talking about when even from the first podcast we did in regards to the Wigan game, that we were surprised that Quainer didn't even get a bit of time at the end of the game. I know everyone else was injured, but we just needed that. We needed that 9 just to help spearhead the attack and bring everyone forward. It just pushes the team forward so much more. And then this weekend, Campbell came on for a bit of the game, but he obviously wasn't fit. Today, it felt like the season did restart for us. The mini season of the 9 games to survive in the division just did start on the back of that 9. And what a difference it was, Greg, like you said.
Yeah, I think it even goes to show what not having the 9 against what Wigan and Forest did, what we didn't achieve in those games, because especially first 5-10 minutes again from Grant and Smith Rowe, they were different players because they had a number 9 in front of them, and they were so having that directness from a little bit deeper from Smith Rowe and Grant, regardless who's up front, made all the difference, which was a surprise why against Wigan and Forest we didn't stick a Kachunga or a Quainer up front.
Colin up front, are you sure?
Well, hey, man, he's come on once and we've won, yeah, Greg. We've won.
That's a nuisance. It can keep, half a centre half occupied for a little bit, but getting Grant back out on left and getting Smith Rowe, him being direct, you could see what. Obviously, there was a lot of praise for Pritchard from Sunday, which, he's always going to split opinion. Still don't think he's delivering enough other than, winning a few set pieces. But Smith Rowe on the half turn, driving forward. When you play football, the worst thing is someone running at you, someone coming at you. It's causing problems, even if it's winning free kicks, getting throw-ins or whatever. It's just something extra to think about. But that all stems from playing a number 9. So, yeah, with massive difference getting Campbell in that team today, I think.
Well, he only scored his 3rd league goal of the season, but I've always thought we just look a better, more complete team with him in it. The way he hassles defenders, he's got a little bit of old school dirt around him. He likes to leave his foot in. It's fantastic. And the goal he scores today, again, you haven't seen that commitment from some of our players. Like getting in front of the defender, throwing everything at it. Even towards the end, I think Steve Mounier, Chabsy put in a good cross, and he just didn't, go in for it. That's what's been missing, and I love Big Steve, but it's just that hostile kind of number 9, that old school. I don't want to say it's old school because he's got everything. He's played at the highest level, and he's played a lot of Championship football. It's just that bit of experience that we've been missing so far.
It's that and the leadership, Greg. It's that and the leadership.
Yeah,
it's like we asked for it again. There was no leadership in the last few games, and it looked like Campbell today brought it upon himself to do everything. And I know he only lasted 60 minutes, but it just set the tone, didn't it? And from the off, he was at it. If we play like that for the remaining fixtures, we will not have any problems whatsoever. we got a bit fortunate, I think, that it was Birmingham today after the two difficult fixtures that we had. I think if it was Preston today instead of Birmingham, Preston who were chasing the playoffs still, it might have been a different performance we saw. Obviously, you're playing a different team, but it really helped us that we were playing a team that are clearly still on holiday. They're not, and Birmingham aren't even out of trouble yet. I think they're only 49 points, 4 points above us now. And we obviously aren't out of trouble yet. We will be if we play like that. We'll be fine. But they, as an aside, Birmingham look in real trouble. They're looking free fall. If that's the best they've got, then they're in real trouble. But the thing is with that is everyone's winning around us, and it's bringing loads of different teams into trouble that probably thought 2 weeks ago that they were in a championship next season. No worries, and the more football we see being played now, the more unpredictable it's becoming.
I was just going to say, do we think this could be one of those seasons where it's going to take over 50 points for someone to stay up? Because like Birmingham, like we said, they're on 49 points now, but we're within 4 points of them. So it just feels like one of them, a bit like was it 2001 when we got relegated, that don't matter where you are in the league at the moment or what run you're on, you're just not safe.
Problem is with that, you've got Wigan who today have gone into administration, so they're effectively on 38 points at the minute. You've got Sheff Wednesday out far off. Birmingham themselves are in trouble. I think they're holding out until Bellingham goes to Dortmund, so they'll be getting a big cash injection. But yeah, you're right. At the minute, all the teams in the bottom third, Wigan without that points deduction at 14th, they are 11 points off the playoffs. And they started 1 point below us. It's a bonkers division. And I think it's because them teams in mid-table thought they were done. They thought the season were done. And I think we did to an extent.
Yeah, one win. We only needed one win, didn't we? That's what I said.
Yeah.
One win. I would like to clarify that. I'd like to go back on that a little bit. I did mean a few draws as well. One win and a few draws. But you're right. We thought we were okay. And the Cowleys, though, they just pull out wins when they joined us, we were probably one of the worst 11s we've ever had at Huddersfield. Like, it was awful. 1 point in 10 games. Is that what we had? 9 games or something? And they pulled out wins they pulled out some professional performances away from home and brought in points that none of us expected. And to be honest, maybe it's more on Mark Devlin and his amazing 10-minute promo yesterday to get us all coming together.
Yeah,
I think we all came together I think we all came together at 90 minutes tonight. Honestly, that was exactly what he was after by the sound of it, and exactly what we needed. So thank you, Matt Devlin.
I mean, let's be honest, there's reading a room, and he didn't read the room very well. And right, I don't want to get into it because I was going to save it for Sunday, but I remember Mark Lilly saying this when he was caretaker manager. It's like, Huddersfield Town fans will, if you're crap, they'll tell you that you're crap. When I think when Robbins left, and it's just like, that's all we're doing. We're just saying that we've probably been accused of being negative from what we produced on the weekend, but we weren't being negative. It was been crap for the last 2.5 years. It has been crap for the last 2.5 years, and there's people on Twitter that haven't seen double-figure wins, and they've been going to a lot of games. It's just like all we want. And all you need in a relegation battle is fight, and you got that tonight, and goals, and you got that tonight. And again, it comes from playing players in the right position for this team. So Carlan, I don't think he can actually play at 9. I'd much rather see Catcher there than him. Players out wide and left, he can do whatever he wants. Campbell comes in, he drives you forward. ESR comes in, he drives you forward. Big Steve comes on, fights for a ball, third goal. Perfect. Everyone can go to bed tonight having a couple of beers, happy, wake up in the morning. If you're working like me, crack on with your work. If you're furloughed, enjoy your holiday.
It made a difference having O'Brien back in the middle as well, having his energy next to Hogg, because I think we all accept Hogg's days are starting to get a little bit numbered. But having O'Brien in there with that energy, it drives us on, and it creates a little bit more space for Smith Rowe to drive as well, because we just didn't have that on Sunday. When he came on, he showed a little bit of it, but they had men behind the ball at that point. Whereas having Smith Rowe there today, he just picks it up and he runs at people and he draws defenders in, and then he can play passes. I mean, if he'd have had the ball when Grant went through and should have laid it off to Smith Rowe just after we got the second, he'd have just slipped it straight in for him. And yeah, I think having that energy in the middle of the pitch, it really helps us, and we missed it a lot on Sunday.
What do you think about Pritch? Because Matty's just said it. He's come on again. He's looked all right. He's looked tidy. You know, I think we said on Sunday when Glennon and Oggy were eulogising over it. I mean, they do come up with some weird stuff, you know, the grass being too long, but, you know, you're going to take him in for what it's worth. But today he looks all right. But again, he don't look the player like I remember from when he was playing on loan at Brentford. He don't look like the player we kind of know how to use.
We don't.
For
the money we paid for him, what, 12 million, 13 million or something? It was quite a lot at the time. Well, it's quite a lot now, but you would expect more goals, more assists, but it's just not there, is it, with him? He doesn't chip in with the amount of goals or he's not directly involved in enough goals for the outlay. It just isn't. And if you need a goal, I don't think we've got many players who can come on and give it you. But I wouldn't back Pritchard to be able to supply it. And that is something that a number 10 can't do. That's a luxury that we can't afford, and nobody in this division can afford. If you're playing that role, you have to create goals. And he took a lot of the set pieces we had on Sunday. And to be fair, I think he was let down a little bit by No 9 being able to get on the end of it. But Toffolo took a lot more today, I think, and it worked far better for starters. But no, he's not. And it's different, Greg, coming on in the last 20. When did he? How much did he get today? 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's different coming on when you're 2-0 up in it, though. It's different coming on at that time of the game than it is at 0-0 or 1-0 down. The biggest difference for us today as a team was we went 1-0 up after 10 minutes. If we'd have gone 1-0 down after 10 minutes, would we have been able to put in that performance? I think we all know the answer to that is no, not a chance.
Yeah.
Because when you're at the bottom of the league, fighting for your lives, when you're fighting for your lives at the bottom of the league, resilience doesn't exist. It's not there. That's normally why you are at the bottom of the league. We still have the ability, because some of the players are still the players we had under Wagner. And when we go 1-0 up, we know we have just a bit more belief turns up. You can see it. You can just see it on the field, on the grass, as the Cowleys like to say. When we're out there on the grass, 1-0 up, we look a different team. But it's just so important that we get the first goal. And from now to the end of the season, it's going to be the same. If we go 1-0 down, you're not likely to get much out of it. But if we go 1-0 up, we might be okay. And that's why we have to be just at it from the off a little bit better than we have been, especially in the first couple of games, giving away cheap goals. We can't do that. We've got to be solid. And today we really were.
Yeah, I still think there's, as convincing as it was, there's still a vulnerability from set pieces and balls in the box, which there were a couple of headers in the first half where, you know, they probably should have done better with, or they were flagged offside. We're not the tallest team, and then we're still missing something around that solidity, I think. But a win, you know, nothing gives confidence more than a victory. So a steady 3-0 tonight should bring some of that confidence back, because the players are good enough. Well, you know, I think the players are good enough, but they just need, you know, maybe this will just kick them on, get these last few wins over the line, and they can sit back and reassess come the summer when they realise that they've stayed up. But sometimes it's the centre half and full back. A few times where they don't know who's going, who's staying, or who's filling in to try win that header around the back stick. But yeah, we might have got away with a few cheap headers, but.
We did a bit better tonight, though. We stopped that Schindler going out to stop the cross. That's what were costing us at the weekend. Today, it was pretty clear that wasn't happening. And how much better did Schindler look there? He was clearing up loads of the stuff going in.
And that's all you want him to do. Defend
26 clearances we put in today compared to 26 clearances we put in. That's what we put in today. And I think Birmingham had 7 clearances. That tells you the flow of the game, in that we sat a bit deeper. But we were just better organised. We were just at it again. Early goal. We were asked to defend for 80 minutes. And now, to be honest, I didn't think we'd be able to. I thought at half-time, okay, we got through that first half okay. The beginning of the second half is going to be crucial here. And we looked miles better. The Cowleys made their adjustments at half-time, as they do. And it's a lot easier doing that at 1-0 up than it is losing. And they sorted out the problems we thought we had, Greg, after speaking about it on the weekend at centre-back. Steeman himself, he looked good, but we sat a bit deeper at the weekend. We were trying to push him up a bit too far, leaving loads of space behind us, and pace beats us. Today it didn't happen. 1-0 up, sit deeper, stop them getting around the back. They had nothing. They could just lump crosses in like we could do against Wigan. We put in a performance similar to what Wigan did against us. And if you can't beat them, join them, and we copied them. Birmingham, 1-0 down, mid-table. They think they're safe. They ain't going to put the effort in required to get back into that game when you can see our boys chucking everything into every tackle. It was just a fantastic performance, a performance you expect from Huddersfield that Town fans want. It was one of those performances that represents us as fans in that that's the kind of football we like to see. Okay, it's not the most pretty, it's not the most beautiful. You're not dribbling past 10 players and crossing it in for an overhead kick type of football. That's not us. That's not what we're used to anyway, and it's not necessarily what we want. We just want hard-working, gritty performances, and we dug in there today, and we got realistically what we deserved. To be honest, the first time since the restart, everything went in our favour, and when that happens, you have to take the win, and we did. We've seen it before when things go in your favour with refereeing decisions, and you still don't win the game. Today, professionalism was there, leadership was there, and there we go. Officially safe, 1 win, loving it. That's it. That's us done. That's it. Championship football for next season, and wow, unbelievable. Who'd have thought that after Forest, after that dire performance? But no, we can't be anything but happy with today.
I was going to say, did anyone else get a bit twitchy when he made those 2 defensive subs? Because that third goal came at exactly the right time.
I was twitchy at 3-0, Ferbs. 3-0, I'm still twitchy. I'm looking at the clock going 77 minutes here. Oh, I think they could still come back. We've just got to be careful. I just can't help it. It's just Town, innit? That's what... You're never safe. We never feel safe. And realistically, we were safe. But, just... Oh,
I was going to say, you don't miss that. When O'Brien's through 1-on-1, kill it,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kill it, and it's it straight Lee Camp. Pritchard takes two when he touches. It's just that worry of, anyone who went to Bury like 7-8 years ago just remembers being 3-0 up, and it's just still that memory that's behind. But that's remarkably the 4th game at home in a row that Birmingham conceded 3 goals. So, they probably are out of it yet, and we've probably helped drag them in a bit. The table as it stands, Town are 19th. That's without Wigan's point deduction. Hull play Middlesbrough tomorrow night. This is the thing; it's in our own hands now, and it was in our own hands from the beginning. And we came out like so I was doing a cricket reference there, but probably not advisable on a football podcast. But we came out like a number 11, facing Pat Cummins and Mitchell Stark. And now we've actually come out like a proper kind of opening pair of batsmen, and we've taken the attack to them, and I'm just happy. I'm happy, and that's what football's about. As long as you're giving 100% effort, which I don't think they gave in that first game and 2 games. I know it's very simplistic, but the formation were wrong, the players were wrong. We can all go home happy. We can all stay in at home happy until Saturday when the pub's open and enjoy it.
The game on Saturday is going to be pretty difficult as well, isn't it? Preston, they've still got things to play for. I think if we can, you don't just want to get through it, but if you can take a point on Saturday, I'd be pretty happy with that. I'd be pretty happy with that already, because the games after that are against teams that, again, a bit like Birmingham, should be away in the Algarve somewhere, or Dubai, and that where all the footballers like to head. But the games to target now, and it really is like that. The performances, to be honest, guys, don't really matter, do they? We like to see them. No. We like to see them, but realistically, the team we have now won't represent what we have next season. It's not the style we're going to have. It's not the build-up of the squad's not going to be the same. There's the long-term goal and the medium-term goals don't involve what's going to go on in the next few games, bar survival in the Championship. So it really is we can target the games we take points from. Of course, you want to win every game, but a point on the weekend would be fantastic. And the 5 games then remaining after that, or the 4 games, sorry, are pretty winnable, or drawable, or we can at least score in open play.
Yeah, I think it'd
be nice and competitive.
Games, if almost the energy which we showed tonight, if you turn up with that again in a couple of these games, you're gonna be winning those 50-50s. You're gonna be nicking balls off players. And it's which will get us over the line in some of these games against teams that haven't got much left to play for, or things like that. And it's starting players like Campbell, which he brings that right from the top of the field, doesn't it? Like he's always given 100% run around, get stuck in, and we've kind of missed a little bit of not necessarily nastiness, but somewhat like a nuisance up there because they're the players you don't like playing against Town. So to have that back, a little bit of closing down, that sort of energy against some of these, like I say, in some of these teams which have got little to play for, will almost get us over the line. And you know, draws aren't going to hurt us at all now. Like Saturday's probably Preston's last chance to get a win and see if they can make something happen. So actually, if we can get any sort of positive result from that, it's going to be a decent result for us.
Preston have only won. Preston have taken 1 point from their 3 games since the restart, so they're not exactly in form either. And then you got Reading next Wednesday, or Tuesday or Wednesday. You know, they're 16th on 49 points, and then you got Luton. And if you beat Luton, you probably say, "Yeah, we're done." And that's what I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing us be able to be safe early on, because I wouldn't mind us chucking Matty Daly in. I wouldn't mind us chucking some of the young lads in, because Dehaney's come in and been class last 2 games.
He's been fantastic. He's been the best fullback. Again, we spoke about it the weekend. If you looked at Toffolo and Dehaney on Sunday, you'd have picked Dehaney out as the experienced fullback who was in demand from clubs higher up. Like he's been great, and he wasn't. I didn't actually think too well of him when he's played for us prior to going out on loan for the last time. I thought he looked raw, positionally poor, doesn't drive forward the same as Tommy Smith did, or even Toffolo on the other side. But he's really come on these last few weeks. Don't know what he's done over the COVID break, but it's definitely working. But it's a bit of a luxury there, Greg, trying to say we're going to be safe before the end of this, like well before the end of the season. But barely a day ago, we're thinking,
not the way we do it.
We're in trouble. It's Huddersfield Town, Greg. We know what's going to happen.
I'm taking Mr. Mark Devlin's advice. I think we need to be positive.
It's thoughts and prayers, positivity, isn't it? That's what we're down to now. It's like, we'll just thoughts and prayer it out. Come on, guys. We can. If we all sing together, we'll be fine.
Final one for each and every single one of you. John Goran Stankovic. He's going to Sturm Graz. People. I don't know why people are very upset about it. He's done all right at times, but you know, he's been here 4 years now. He's only played 40 odd games. A bit surprised that they're kind of eulogising of him. He's decent, but I'm not fussed either way that he's gone.
I think if this had have happened after tonight's game, no one would have cared. I think people were just clutching at something. They were just desperate for anything, and I think we're not going to miss him. Like speaking to Ian earlier, we've got 4 centre backs at the club. 3 of them are under contract for next season already. He was the one that wasn't, and we desperately need another type of defender in there. So I think if we have to let him go to get that, that's fine with me.
He's one of those blokes that looks like he's about 32 and he's only 24. He looks like he's had an hard life. I know he's from Central towards Eastern Europe, so he's had a bit more of maybe a difficult upbringing than we have. But he looks old, right? And now that is important when you consider the reason why he's only played 40 odd games is not based on talent, Greg. It's based on his injury record. He's come in and he sometimes finds a bit of form and then he finds himself injured. And doing that at 24 is a big worry. You think, to be injury prone at that age, it's forecasting a troubling future for longevity. So for Town, like Tom said, we've got 3 guys under contract already. To put your faith in somebody that's young but injured quite a lot, who came in on, I imagine, championship money, wasn't it? And then got the bonus everybody else get, and then the relegation clauses. And I know all that's all in there, but it still wouldn't have been a cheap option, I don't think, at centre-back at 24. That's when your contracts start increasing in value, or you're looking for more money. So I don't think it's anything to do with his talent as a player. I think he's actually a pretty good ball-playing centre defender. And if he was fit, I think we'd have seen a lot more of him. I think this season he'd probably started with Schindler all season. But you've got to get more out of your centre-backs, and especially at that age, you expect them to at least be available for picking. And unfortunately for him, he just wasn't enough. So good luck to him. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he did really well at Sturm Graz if he kicked on and became a regular there, if he can find some sort of fitness. But he didn't do it for us, unfortunately. But all the best to him.
Yeah, I think well, similar to Ian and Tom there. I think it is a shame. I think to see him go because of when he has his opportunity. A lot of the times he's taken it, and you can see him through kind of confidence and form start playing well on the ball. I think he's probably the best defensive player on the ball we've had for quite a while. I never fully bought into him as a defensive midfielder, but I could, he served the purpose there, and he actually played well for us. But just when you thought he was getting to a point where he could be the starting centre half, you'd almost have a game where look a bit soft, like the Stoke game at home, or you think, oh, I won't be disappointed to see someone else back in alongside Schindler. So, yeah, similar to the guys, you've got to wish him well for whatever's next. And it's just a shame he didn't hold his fitness for a little bit longer to have a run in the team. But yeah, similar to what Tom mentioned at the start, if that news had come after a win or at the end of the season, I think people would have said thanks, all the best. But there was more of an uproar because we were in the shit for what looked like the rest of the season. So I think, yeah, fair play to him, and I'm sure he'll be decent for the rest of his career. But yeah, we've got people like Edmonds Green and stuff to come through, so why not give them a shot?
I was actually surprised that he didn't go in January, to be honest, just because we had that win at Brentford earlier in the season. The team was on a really good run. He had that sulk on the pitch after the game because he wasn't playing. And it's like, do we want someone in the squad with that kind of attitude that's just going to kind of... He obviously didn't down tools, but that's going to make a public statement like that and sit in the middle of the pitch after the game in front of all the press and everyone. And I honestly thought after that he were going to go in January. And no one would have batted an eyelid if he had then. So, yeah, I think it was just the timing of it. Nothing anyone at the club said this week could have been taken in a positive manner.
Yeah, I think that ACL he did when he was on, was it Slovenia under-21s? That kind of...
set him back a bit, didn't it? That?
Birmingham 0, Town 3. We are not miserable anymore. We're positive. We have to be positive. We've been asked to be positive. And hopefully that positivity lasts until next Saturday. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.